Hi, I'm Lekke, and today I'm going to show you how to make your first beat in Ableton. So, you just downloaded Ableton and want to create some sick beats. You open up the software and then, well, now what? You don't know how any of this works. So, this video is for everyone just starting out or for people who just switch from another DAW to Ableton. Let's get into it. So first we're going to close all the unnecessary tabs. So we're going to click this button right here, this one, this triangle. So there we are. This is one track. So on this track we can put an instrument. Here you can see our beat grid. So these are basically the bars divided in bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so forth. Down here you can see the time in seconds. And that's basically it. So let's take an instrument. Click this triangle. You probably won't have these named, you won't have all of this, but you should have this. So you go to instruments and you just take one. I recommend taking, let's say, operator. Then you can double click it, or you can also just choose to drag it onto the track. So if you now press M, or just click here, to make sure this is turned on, you can play the keys by, you can play the keys with your keyboard. So play something. So that's nice, but the sound, well, the sound's not that great. So let us take a preset. Press this triangle, and here you can see all of our presets. So let's say we want a pad. Whoa, so many pads. Okay, just double tap one. Let's hear this. No, that's not what I was looking for. Ooh, that's quite nice. Okay, let's keep this one. As you can see here, this is our instrument. We can close this by double clicking or open it double clicking. I'm gonna close this again. Make sure this red light is turned on, because if I try to play now, you don't hear anything. So make sure this is enabled. Well, I think it's time to record something. So we want to record this chord and then this one. Simply press this button. Okay, that was pretty sick. Now, you can make this a little shorter, so like this. It will stick to the grid, which is pretty nice. Now you can zoom in by pressing plus or minus. There we go. Now, as you can see, they're not really on time. So how do we fix this? We just double click. This is called a clip. Double click the clip. Whoa. Okay. Now you can edit each note separately. As you can see, here is our piano, our keyboard. So I played an F, an A, and a C, and then I just left these two and played an E. You can adjust each note separately, like this. Make it long, make it short. Say we want it to like this, okay. But you don't have to do this separately for each note. So quick tip, right click and press quantize settings. Okay, now we can choose to make our beat or whatever we made stick to the grid. You can choose the amount it sticks, like if you want to keep it a bit human, you can just put it on 50%. You can choose if you want to adjust the start of the note or the end of the note. You can choose to adjust it to current grid, 1/4 beat, 1/8. Gonna leave it like this, press OK. As you can see, everything is synced. Now, it's a pad sound, so I want long notes. There we go. Press this triangle to close. Then if you want to play it, you can just press here. There we are. Nice. Okay, this is stop. You can also press spacebar to start. But you will always start at the point where this small bar is, so you have to put it in the beginning. Space. If you would like to record with a metronome, it's possible. Just click these two dots. Now the metronome is enabled, and if I press spacebar, there we are. You can also change some things like the count-in. So if you press record, it will first give you 4 ticks and then it will start. You can change the sound. You can change the rhythm, but I'm just gonna leave it like this, pretty good. Now I want to slow this down. Here we can see our BPM, and I want it to be 100. Just gonna disable this. Pretty neat. Now, what if I don't know what BPM I want, but I can tap it in my head? Then I can just press tap. I want it to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will set a BPM automatically. Now, if I want to record something on top of this, it might be useful to have this on repeat. So, if you see this small bar, you can make long and short. We're gonna set it like this, so it was actually good as it was. And then enable this button, the repeat one. If I now press start, and it will repeat. Pretty cool, huh? Now, something else I forgot to mention. Let's go back to this view. So just double click. What if I want these notes to be softer, but not softer as in quieter, but as in you're not tapping the keys that hard. You can change the velocity of the notes. So you can select all of them by just holding left click and then dragging over them. There you go. And if you see this, you can make it bigger. This is the velocity of the notes. So at the moment they're all the same. Soft or hard. But it might be useful to make it more human-like, to adjust them so they're not all the same. I don't think you'll hear a difference with these pads, but well, a little bit. Not really. Let's just all keep them the same. So we're gonna go all the way up and then somewhere over here. Okay, so it's called 1.asnowpad1. I don't want that name. I don't like it. So I'm gonna simply expand this. And you press Command or right click, rename, pad. Same here. Pad. I also want to change the color. Let's make it, I don't know, green. Now, if I would have a lot of clips here, I can just right click here and assign color to clips. So all the clips on this track will have the same color. There we are. Nice. Next thing, we are going to duplicate this part because our song is going to be pretty long and I want this to continue playing. So again, right click, and press duplicate or Command D on Mac. Four will be enough. And I can make this longer and have everything on repeat. Okay, that's pretty sick. Now, I want to put a bass line. So, press this triangle again. Close this. To bass. Okay. What do we want? Just gonna take a random one. Drag it over here. If you double click it while this track is selected, as you can see, now it changed. So that's not what you want. That sounds really bad. So make sure you can just Command Z if you do anything wrong. So that's now we pad, and so you drag it into the empty space. Now we have our bass here. Make sure this is record enabled. Make sure this light is turned on and you can play it. Doesn't sound really bassy, but whatever. Just gonna play something. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna copy these bars and put it on our bass line. So, click it, copy, and paste. It's called bass, not pad, so again, bass. There we are. Make it the same color. Let's call this bass as well. I'm just gonna make this smaller again. I'm just gonna keep the bottom notes because those are the bass notes, the root notes. So you can delete them by just click and then delete, backspace, or you can't even delete them this way. Okay, so just backspace. There we are. No, that's not what I meant. Stop. Okay, let's play this. Still doesn't sound really bassy, so we're going to transpose these notes down. The way you do this is you select them, and you can use the arrows on your keyboard, take them down or take them up, or you can just simply drag them. So we're on F now. Let's take these an octave down. Let's take them 2 down because it was really high, right? F. You can see they shifted a little. Put them back. There we are. Ooh. Deep bass. Repeat again. I don't really like the second note, so we're gonna edit this one. Now, I don't want to edit this in just this one. I want to edit it in all of them. So I'm going to make this in one big clip. Turn it into a big clip. So select everything. And then you press Command J, or as you can see here, consolidate. Now we can edit all of these at once. So now if you want to hear the bass alone, so without the pads, you can simply press the S for solo. And with bass notes, it's sometimes hard to hear if they are in key. So what we're gonna do is transpose them up again. Select all of it. And if you want to transpose it like a whole octave, you can just press Shift and arrow up. There we are. Next thing we want to do is change the volume because the bass is pretty loud. No, actually the pads are really loud, so let's turn these down. It's done by turning this down. So you click it and then you drag it down. Much better. Now, let's add some drums. As you can see, you just have this drums file here. All of them are drum kits, so I'm just gonna take a random one. Ticket kit, whatever that means. Drag it. As you can see, this looks pretty weird. I'm gonna press my keys again, make sure it's record enabled, and this light is burning. And it is not doing anything, but you can see here what I am pressing. So basically we want to press things that are down here. So we'll have to transpose our keyboard down. That's done by pressing X and Z. So down, as you can see, current octave is C. Down again, C1 to D2. There we are. That's pretty dope. Don't think it will fit this vibe, but whatever. Let's record. Okay, so basically the drum kit, as you can see, it's not like the other synths. It doesn't look synthy. It's because it's basically all samples you can hit. So if you want to put your own samples in, you can just click something. This one, right filter. I don't like this sound. Okay, then you just get rid of it, backspace. Now you can drag and drop your own samples. I'll tell you where you get these in a minute. Also, gonna make this short again. I think the snare, this one, is way too hard. It's way too loud. So what we're going to do is turn it down. We're gonna check which light burns when the which light goes on when the snare hits, so we know which one it is. So it's this one. Click it, and here you can see the volume. So we're gonna take this down a little bit. If there's any particular drum kit or anything you like, you can label them by color. So you can give them a color, right click. Like I gave these names. Like if this is a drum kit I like, I can put them with drums. You can also just clear the colors by pressing clear colors. Same goes with effects, which I'm gonna talk about now. So basically this bass, it's kind of flat sounding. I'm gonna listen to it alone. It has some power, but I want to give it more. So we're gonna saturate the bass. If you don't know what that means, doesn't matter. We're gonna put an effect on the bass. So go to audio effects. And here you have a lot of effects. I'm gonna take a saturator for this one. It's sort of distortion. And again, there are a lot of presets. So I'm not gonna create my own thing for now. A bit warmer. Okay, sounds pretty bad actually, but never mind. Even worse. Never mind. So we have this effect, a bit warmer. I'm not gonna explain what all of these buttons do, but just the two main ones, which are output and dry wet signal. So basically if you put an effect on something, you have to make sure it's the same volume when it goes in as it goes out. So this volume should be the same as this one. In this case, it's pretty much the same, but if this would have been way quieter than this one, I could just adjust the output gain. Now it's with the dry wet signal. can hear it get louder when I do this. So at this moment, all of the signal of the bass is processed through this effect. So the effect is put on the whole signal, while if I pull this down, now the signal is dry, so the effect is basically not turned on. There's no effect on the signal. I'm gonna turn this all the way up. Pull this down a little bit. Okay, now it's about the same volume. So sometimes I don't want this effect to be as prominent in the mix as it is now, so I can just take this down. And now you still hear the signal without the bass, without the effect, but also the bass signal with the effect. Let's say I made this preset myself. Let's say this wasn't one of these. I can save it by pressing this. Then it goes automatically to your user library, and you can save this, give it a name like bad saturation. Enter. And now whenever I am in a random project, I can go back to user library and choose my own presets. If you want to delete one, right click, delete, move to trash. Simple as that. You can also, because now we're only using MIDI information. As you can see, it's these lines. It's not really audio. So how do I put an audio file in my DAW? I'm gonna close this. Go to places here. Go to add folder and simply choose this. If I would have had some audio files in here, they would show up, and I can just click them, press open. I have some places opened here, so I can go to samples, go to whatever, vocal, somatic vocal, a cappella, drag this here. Now we have this vocal, and as you can see, you see the waveform, so it's an audio file. That's the basics. I'm not going to explain every single one of these effects. There I'll make separate videos for, because it's a lot of information. Thank you all for watching. For all techno producers, I have a free techno sample pack up on my Bandcamp. So make sure you download that one. If you like this video, please like and subscribe, and see you next time.